Welcome to All Things Social Security. Enjoy your video. Happy Sunday morning. It is, gosh, what is the date? It is the, 23rd of November. Here we go into Thanksgiving week. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving and be safe with it as well. Let's just go over last week's videos. It looks like we were at November 17th was Monday, and we go through the 22nd. So what do we have? To me, it's like a mind sieve. I can't remember. So I have to look at the list and hope nothing ever changed. All right, here we go. We had on Monday the 17th, this was a tip, a piece of information about veterans TDIU, disability type of rating with the VA and benefits, versus SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, and how the finding that one meets the criteria of either one can differ. So you could meet the finding for one and not the other. That's not the goal, of course, but explaining how that can happen and often does. Okay, so on Tuesday, oops, I just clicked the wrong thing. Forgive. On Tuesday, yeah, because my eyes are just blind. This was about legal fees and how you can actually have a legal fee in theory even if you're denied. I've never seen it in action, but the details are found in the SSA's official version of the fee agreement that representatives are invited to use versus using their own formatted fee agreement. So we go into that because I thought that was kind of interesting when a client brought it up. It's like, whoa, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Or maybe I just never paid attention to it because it would never happen in my firm. But anyway, then we have Wednesday, the 19th. What do I got here? Let me just scroll that up so I can see it better. Ah, yes, this was part 3 of the malingering videos. It is like one longer video that it was just broken up into 4 parts because I don't like them to go too long. Only because I know most people don't want to sit that long. So that's about malingering and what it means under the SSA adjudication process, and little ideas on how to avoid uh, the optic of malingering. And of course, don't malinger. So that's 3, and I guess 4 is coming up soon. November 20th was, what would that make it, Thursday? Yeah, all right. Thursday was the replay of the Wednesday 1 p.m. live stream. Totally different than our dailies. As you know, Wednesday 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our running time period for the weekly live streams that do question and answer from anyone who decides to join in on any Social Security topic. And that was the replay. Note that the one that we had was Wednesday. Go ahead and push it an hour due to another obligation, but normally they're at 1 o'clock. And we have the live stream for the week of Thanksgiving, but it's not going to be Wednesday because I'm traveling. So I pushed it to Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Same 1 o'clock time period, Eastern Standard Time. So I'd love to see you guys there. It would be a happy Thanksgiving. All right. 21st, Friday Fraud Law Review. This was a Massachusetts woman who stole a dead person's Social Security for 5 years. God, I thought they said that they weren't paying out dead people's Social Security. How many times have I reported on it? And mine are probably just a small, tiny little itty bitty percentage. Incredible. All right, so that was Friday. And then Saturday, yesterday, this was just a tip about your mental health providers and what would be preferred evidence. So if you have a mental health claim, you might want to take a look-see at that. And I should add that coming up is going to be a series of videos, short, it's from one big long one, broken out into 10 pieces, about the mental health claimants' way to handle the function report. Because a lot of people get really confused because the function report seems largely physical. And there is a lot of physical, but mental health can also affect one's capacity to do physical things because of the mental state. So there are so many things to think about with so many of these questions. So we actually go through it from front to back. And I broke it out into 10 pieces only to keep them short because nobody can really sit there. I might put them all together potentially to have a separate one where you could just see it all run through if that's what you wanted to do. Because I get that might be something, but we'll get through the 10 little ones first before I delve into a long video and put it out there, only because it kind of breaks my format. So anyway, I hope that helps. There's a lot of mental health claims, whether it's fully a mental health claim or mental health is a component. I think that video will really help when you do your function report. All right, so that's it, guys. Happy Sunday. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you have a great week coming up. And do feel free to say hi. Visit the daily videos, leave a comment, or better yet, or in addition to, join us live Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, but this coming week for Thanksgiving, Friday at 1 p.m. And I can hear my dogs barking, so I will chat with you guys later. I think they need to go out. Bye-bye now. It's still Sunday. Did you miss last week's Social Security roundup? Not this week that you just heard, but the one prior to that, and want to catch up? I'm attaching it now. Have a great day. Bye. Good morning. It is Sunday, November 16th. Let's do quickly the Sunday Social Security roundup for this past week. And let's just hop right into it because I got to run this morning. But let's see. This would be going from the 10th to yesterday, the 15th of November. On the 10th, the video share of the day was a clip out from a live stream, and it concerns someone's question about medical dental assistant type of work history and the transferable skills you're going to want to be able to prove either don't exist or you can't transfer them. So we go into that a little bit because that is a skill job. The next day, November 11th, we had a discussion about when a consultative examiner, so that would be whether it's the mental or the physical CE, consultative examination, when that examiner fails to do a decent job and what to do about it in your Social Security disability claim, potentially. The next day, Wednesday, which was November 12th, this was the first of 4 parts of a video on malingering. It had been asked for by a viewer. And I thought it was a good point because people with the best of intentions and the most honest people of all often do get concerned that they are going to be incorrectly labeled as malingering. So we go into that. That is just part 1 of the 4, and they all come out pretty much as soon as possible thereafter, but not necessarily each day, every day. On the 13th, this was Thursday. As you know, Wednesday at 1 p.m., we have the live stream Q&A for a couple of hours at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This was Thursday, and it was the replay of the day before's live stream. And that's where we cut out all of the pauses and everything. You'd be able to clip a half hour out of it with all that reading and pausing and scrolling so that people watching the live stream don't have to suffer through that like the live people did. Okay, Friday, of course, was fraud law review, and this one was about an illegal alien who stole ID and also, by his actions, killed a deputy with a front loader at the job of which he was not lawfully employed. And I think they allude to the fact that there was no evidence to show that he had actually been trained properly or within legal standards to even operate that front loader. And a deputy gets killed as a result. Horrible. And I think he got a slap on the wrist, but I'm not sure. I think so. I beat so many of them. All right, so that was Friday. And then yesterday, Saturday, was part 2 of the malingering 4-part series. So feel free to take a listen to that. That was the 15th. Yeah. All righty, that's it, guys. That was for the week. I hope you had a really good week. I hope you have a great next week. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I hope it's peaceful and meaningful. All right. That's what we can all hope for, right? All right, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye now.